Welcome to Cross Border Interviews. This is the show where we dive into the insights of municipal political leaders from across Canada. Now, our mission on this show is quite simple. It is to shine a light on the dedicated individuals who day in and day out, working around that council table, shaping the communities that we all call home. For this edition of the show, we were recently at the 2025 Association of Manitoba Municipalities Convention in beautiful downtown Winnipeg, where we were speaking with municipal leaders from across the Keystone Province. While there, we spoke with rural municipality of Reynolds Reeve Russ Gawluk. Did you know that Manitoba's municipalities have a voice working tirelessly for them every day? That's the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, your trusted partner in advocacy and action. From local roads to economic development, emergency services to community planning, the AMM ensures municipal priorities are heard loud and clear. They work side by side with local leaders and municipalities, empowering them to tackle the challenges that matter most to their communities. At the AMM, they bring municipalities together, united on the key issues and stronger as a team. Together, they work to make sure your community's concerns don't just get heard, they get action. So whether it's building infrastructure, strengthening local economies, or shaping provincial and federal policy, the AMM is here to make municipal issues matter. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities, advocating for your community, making a difference for all Manitobans. Learn more about how AMM is helping your community at amm.mb.ca.
Reeve, thank you so much for chatting with me here on day 2 of the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Convention in beautiful downtown Winnipeg. Before we get into the crux of the interview, I have to ask a simple question, and that is, what brings the RM of Reynolds to the AMM Association meeting this year?
The AMM is made up of 135 out of 137 municipalities in Manitoba. We are a part of that. And if I go back to when I ran for the position of Reeve in the municipality in 2022, part of my platform was economic development. And when I consider that I had never been in politics before, I looked for a place to learn, one, how to be as good a Reeve as I can be, and two, look for opportunities to help the municipality. And the AMM, both the spring and fall conventions, are the most superior opportunity for that.
Now, with that out of the way, the big questions begin. It's a question I ask every single person who's ever been on the show their first time. Where does your sense of duty to serve your community come from?
That's a very good question. I am raised, my father was Ukrainian. He was 4 years old when they emigrated from the Ukraine with the family. My mother's Mennonite German, both have passed. And we were raised with the handshake contract values, where don't give your word if you're not planning to keep it, and do more than you take. So for myself, being a Reeve is to try and help the municipality continue to be the place it is, and perhaps be a better place for the families that are there now and their children and future residents of Reynolds.
Do you think you've had I don't want to say challenging time, but do you think you've had a good hit at the bat to ensure that you've left Reynolds better off than you got it when you first were elected?
Challenge is the word.
I didn't want to say it, Reeve, you did, so let's just go there, Russ.
Absolutely. And when we bear in mind that, again, it's the first time I've been in politics, so a large part of it was learning to be a Reeve, getting adjusted to the speed of government, because coming out of corporate business, if things moved as slow in a business as they do with the government, pretty much everybody would be fired.
No comment from the media guy. But the decisions that you make around that council table can be challenging. I can imagine after your time in office, you've come to the realization that not 100% of the people will ever agree on any decision you make. How do you, at the end of the day, make those tough decisions, knowing that people, even if you go outside right now, say the sky is blue, they'll say, no, it's aquamarine. How do you ensure that your best decisions around that council table will impact people positively while understanding not everyone's going to be in favor of what you've agreed upon?
Yes, truer words were never spoken. I am blessed with a council that's made up of 7 ward councillors and myself, so that's 8. So already the pressure is off for me to be the absolute decision maker. Each one of us has one equal vote. Each one of us is challenged to do as much investigation into any situation we're considering as we can prior to making a decision. And at many of our public meetings, in my prologue or opening comments, I will remind all of those in attendance that each decision made by council is what that councillor or myself considers the best decision for the well-being of the entire municipality, not just the one or the one group, but for the entire municipality.
And then to even go on top of that, at the time that you've made the decision, because things can change in 5 years, things can change in 10 years. So the decisions you make 10 years ago are completely different than what you would probably make today, because things change and ways that we do things have adapted.
I agree with that 100%. And it's sometimes they use the term living document. Well, we're in a living world. So you're right, things do change. Different residents come in, special needs start showing up. Things like our residential initiatives now, we look at one of the most important things we want to put in there is affordable housing as well as at-home housing, right? So this is something that 20 years ago really wasn't on the top of anybody's mind. So I agree with you. We change with the times, and what's good today perhaps won't be good tomorrow, but we need to take that snapshot in time and do our best for our people.
So I want to turn to the RM of Reynolds as a whole now. And I'm going to ask a very pointed question, but I need to preface it by saying you are one member of 8 on council, so you need a majority of members around that council table to vote in favor or against any motion or direction of council. So this is your opinion. It may line up, but at the end of the day, it's still the Reeves' opinion. As of recording this at the end of November 2025, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing the RM of Reynolds today?
Our biggest challenge, and I'll go back to even when I ran for this position, is self-sustainability. We have a kind of a recognized population of 1,344 ratepayers. Without raising the taxes, how do we pay more for the gravel we use, the roads we use, this type of thing? So seeking out the opportunities for growth become important. Commercial, yeah, we'd like to be in somebody else's backyard, but guess what? Everybody needs to participate reasonably. So we look for opportunities that are good for the municipality and have the least amount of negative impact while being able to have our kids come home to work, have opportunities for recreation, tourism, this type of thing.
Do you think you can accomplish it? Get the economic development on the agenda and get it to a place where you would feel comfortable at the end of this term? And preface it, we are 1 year away from the next municipal election. Now, I'm not going to ask you if you're going to run or not, because you have to tell your people before you tell a podcaster from Calgary if you're going to run. But if you do, go for it. Great, breaking news. But the question is, we are 1 year away. And hypothetically, you don't want to be dealing with this issue in 2020, in 2026, 2027. You want to try and have it solved in 2025 and 2026 in the last year. Do you think you can do it?
The idea of sustainability is ongoing. It'll never be solved by any one day. For myself, I'm 3 years into this term. We've made terrific headway in bringing our wants and needs to the provincial government, to different corporate businesses, to the business associations in Manitoba. It's not an overnight process. You build relationships that perhaps weren't there in the past. There's a number of ministers I can walk up with my hand out and they'll say, "Hi Russ, how's it going in Reynolds?" And it takes a while to build that trust, even with the provincial government, because Reynolds has been relatively status quo for a number of decades, and moving ahead with economic development is it's a new and a bit of a spooky initiative to take forth. It catches people like, "Hey, what are you doing in my neighborhood?" And on the same, like I'd mentioned before, we try and find something that has a low negative impact that's acceptable to the general population. But 4 years, not enough. So whether I run or not, I haven't decided yet, but it is difficult for any municipal politician to get a whole bunch done the first 4 years because it takes time to ramp up.
I think your phone is ringing right now, so we're going to pause right now because we have 2 questions left. Hey, no worries.
Turn that on.
And cut back in. My final area is we all have our challenges in our municipalities, which is understandable. And media usually looks at only the negative. But what's the thing you're proud of? When it comes to the RM, there must be something that you go, you know what? We do have our economic sustainability challenges, but we have this going for us. What's that X factor that makes the RM of Reynolds a great place?
Oh, well, start with the people.
The most political answer I've gotten all week this week, but yes, okay, continue on, Reeve.
If you go into one of our restaurants or service stations with a restaurant in it and you ask somebody a question, they're going to bend over backwards to get you the answer. So the people definitely are friendly. We're on the eastern edge of Manitoba, so that gives us, we are the first group you see when you come into the west. We're the last group you say that says, come on back when you head to the east. That is probably number one. Our resources, our rivers, we don't have any lakes, but the rivers, our wetlands, our forested areas, we have a tremendous amount of crown land. So for recreation, whether it's quadding or hunting, we are the place.
And you are the place of Rennie, Manitoba, which you may not have a lot of things, but one day you may.
We are, and now you'll notice too when you go into our communities that we've just put up new welcome signs into each community that were nicely done, and thank you to a provincial grant that helped us to get them. I appreciate that from our province. So you'll know where you are when it says welcome to East Braintree, and yeah, it's meant welcome. We ask that you bring your manners. We ask that you be polite to us. We will be polite back, and yeah, we just keep welcoming you back until you finally decide to move here.
Well, my final question for you, and this is the big one. Now, you've mentioned that you're undecided about the election right now, but what's the one thing you hope to get accomplished by the end of this year, by the end of this term, that would make you feel comfortable about what happened in this year?
I'm going to give you two.
Okay.
One is we've sent out an RFP for residential development in our Molson, Manitoba area, which is up along Highway 44. We'd love to see some residences go there. We've talked to leaders in both Beausejour and Lac du Bonnet who would love to see more employee-employer relationships. They need people to work. And if we're able to get that opportunity going and give people a nice rural area to live in and only 12 kilometers away from work, highway driving, that's a good thing. And the second, we are going on our ongoing initiative to form the 15th watershed in Manitoba, which would run from Piney in the south up to Alexander in the north. And Reynolds has been a strong proponent of that to fill in the last part of Manitoba that still needs a watershed district.
Well, Reeve, Russ, thank you so much for chatting with me. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Cross Border Interviews. Now, we hope you've enjoyed today's conversation and gained some valuable insights. We want to take a special moment and thank the Association of Manitoba Municipalities for allowing us to be on hand at this year's convention in beautiful downtown Winnipeg. Your support means the world to us. To our viewers, to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in every single week for brand new episodes of Cross Border Interviews. If you enjoy the show, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform or hit that subscribe button on YouTube now. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we will be back with a brand new episode of Cross Border Interviews shortly. Till then, everyone.